Hey friend, imagine this for a second. It's a regular Tuesday morning in 2030. You wake up, grab your phone, and check your bank balance like you do every day. But something feels off. You walk into your local store to buy groceries with the cash you've been stashing. Just in case. The cashier looks at you funny and says, "Sorry, we don't accept that anymore." You try selling your reliable old car that's been sitting in the driveway, the one you thought would always hold some value. The buyer laughs and offers you scrap metal prices. Your DVD collection that took years to build? The bookstore chain that used to buy used books? Gone. Your savings account that felt so safe? Inflation has quietly eaten it alive while you weren't looking. You're not broke because you spent wildly. You're broke because the safe assets you trusted are now worth exactly nothing. Sounds scary? Good. Because most people are sleepwalking straight into this exact trap right now. And if you're between 18 and 40, working hard, trying to build wealth the way your parents told you, this video might just save your financial future. Welcome back. Today we're diving into the 7 assets that experts agree will be worth absolutely nothing by 2030, and more importantly, why your brain is probably tricking you into holding on to them anyway. Let's get into it. The big problem most of us have is simple. We still think about money like it's 1995. We believe cash is king because it feels real in our hands. We believe our car is an asset because that's what our parents said. We believe physical stuff, books, movies, paper documents, will always have value because that's how things worked for decades. This is what psychologists call anchoring bias. Your brain anchors to the past and refuses to update the story even when the world has completely changed. It feels safer to keep doing what worked before. But here's the uncomfortable truth: the world is moving faster than ever. Technology, government policies, and human behavior are colliding in ways that are quietly killing the value of yesterday's assets. And the craziest part? Most people don't even notice it happening until it's too late. They keep stacking these dying assets because they feel familiar. They feel responsible. They feel smart. But familiarity is not the same as future-proof. So let's walk through the 7 assets that are headed for zero, one by one, so you can see exactly how this plays out and what your brain is doing to keep you stuck. Asset number 1, physical cash. Not the money in your bank app, the actual paper notes and coins sitting in your wallet or hidden in a drawer at home. Think about it. Right now you probably still use cash sometimes, tipping the delivery guy, paying the vegetable seller, or just because it feels private. But by 2030, entire countries are racing toward cashless societies. Digital payments are already faster, trackable, and cheaper for governments and businesses. In India, UPI has already made cash feel old-fashioned in cities. In Europe and China, cash is basically optional. By 2030, most stores, taxis, and even small vendors will simply refuse physical notes because processing them costs money and invites fraud. Psychologically, we love cash because it gives us the illusion of control. If the banks crash, at least I have something real. That feeling is powerful. It's called the endowment effect. We overvalue what we already own simply because we own it. But that real cash is about to become as useful as a floppy disk. Stores won't take it. ATMs will disappear. And inflation will have quietly turned your hidden stack into pocket change in real buying power. I had an uncle who kept 2 years of salary in a safe. In 2025 it felt smart. By 2030? He'll be lucky to buy a week's groceries with it. Asset number 2, your gasoline-powered car. This one hurts because so many of us see our car as a symbol of freedom and success. You worked hard, bought it, maintained it, and told yourself it's an investment. But the math is brutal. Governments around the world have already set deadlines. Many European countries and several US states will ban the sale of new gas and diesel cars by 2030 or 2035 at the latest. Charging stations are exploding everywhere while gas stations are shrinking. Insurance companies are already charging higher premiums for gas cars because they're riskier long-term. And resale value? It's collapsing right now. A 5-year-old gas car today sells for far less than an electric equivalent with higher mileage. The psychology here is status quo bias. We hate change, especially when it costs money up front. We tell ourselves, I'll just drive it till it dies. But the market won't wait for you. By 2030, trying to sell a normal gas car will be like trying to sell a horse in 1925. Nobody wants the maintenance, the fuel, or the social guilt. It becomes a liability, not an asset. Asset number 3, physical media collections, your DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, and even most video game discs. Remember spending weekends at the video store picking out movies? Or building that shelf of CDs you were so proud of? Streaming has already killed the rental business. By 2030, physical media manufacturing will be almost gone. Netflix, Spotify, and their successors will have every title you could ever want at the swipe of a finger. Resale markets like eBay or local shops will dry up completely because nobody wants to store plastic discs when 100 terabytes of cloud storage costs pennies. This one hits the nostalgia button hard. Psychologists call it the sunk cost fallacy. You spent so much money and time collecting it that your brain refuses to admit it's now worthless. You keep the boxes. Just in case. But the emotional attachment is costing you real money that could be invested in assets that actually grow. Asset number 4, printed books, newspapers, and magazines, the physical ones sitting on your shelf or in your parents' house. E-books and digital news are cheaper, instantly searchable, and take zero physical space. Major publishers are already shifting almost entirely digital. By 2030, printing costs will make mass-market paper books and newspapers a niche luxury item for collectors only, and even then, the resale value will be near zero for anything except rare first editions. The psychology? We romanticize paper. It feels permanent. We grew up with books as status symbols. But that romance is blinding us to the economics. A $20 hardcover today will be lucky to fetch $2 at a garage sale in 2030. Meanwhile, the same money invested in an index fund would have grown into real wealth. Asset number 5, landline phone systems and old-school home phone equipment. This one feels almost silly, but millions of families still pay for landlines, just in case the mobile network goes down. By 2030, telecom companies will have phased them out completely for cost reasons. 5G and satellite internet will make mobiles and internet calling so reliable that landlines become museum pieces. Again, it's the what if, fear talking, loss aversion. We hate the idea of removing a backup even when the backup has become more expensive and less reliable than the main option. Asset number 6, commercial real estate in traditional malls and big office buildings. If you own rental property in a dying mall or you've invested in REITs focused on old-school office towers, this is your warning. Remote work isn't a trend, it's the new normal. Companies have already realized they don't need 80% of the office space they used to lease. E-commerce has gutted malls. By 2030, many of these properties will be half-empty or converted into something else at a massive loss. Vacancy rates are already climbing, and property values are following. People cling to real estate because they're not making more land. True. But they are making better ways to use land, and the locations that don't adapt become worthless faster than you think. Asset number 7, stocks and investments in dying legacy industries, especially coal, traditional print media, old-school retail chains, and certain fossil fuel-dependent businesses. This one is sneaky because it lives in your demat account or retirement fund. You think, diversified portfolio, means you're safe. But by 2030, entire sectors will have been disrupted so thoroughly that their share prices will trade like penny stocks or get delisted. Governments are taxing carbon harder. Consumers are voting with their wallets for green and digital alternatives. The companies that don't adapt die. The psychology here is herd mentality. Everyone else still owns these stocks, so it feels safe. But the herd is moving toward the cliff. Here's the deeper insight, the one that actually changes how you build wealth. None of these assets are becoming worthless because of one big disaster. They're dying because of quiet, compounding shifts in technology, policy, and human behavior. and your brain is wired to ignore those quiet shifts. We have something called normalcy bias. We assume tomorrow will look mostly like today. That bias kept people holding on to Blockbuster shares while Netflix ate their lunch. It's the same bias making you keep cash in a drawer instead of in productive investments. Real wealth building in the 2020s and beyond isn't about hoarding what worked yesterday. It's about owning what the future demands: digital skills, AI-powered businesses, renewable energy, index funds in growing sectors, and assets that generate passive income in a digital world. Money flows to whatever solves tomorrow's problems. The good news? You don't need to be a genius or have a huge bank balance to win. You just need to stop anchoring to the past and start moving with the future. So here's your practical takeaway. Do this today, not tomorrow. First, audit what you own. Literally list every asset: cash sitting at home, your car's current market value, any physical collections, your investment portfolio. Ask yourself honestly, will this still have buyers in 2030? Here's the deeper insight, the one that actually changes how you build wealth. None of these assets are becoming worthless because of one big disaster. They're dying because of quiet, compounding shifts in technology, policy, and human behavior. And your brain is wired to ignore those quiet shifts. We have something called normalcy bias. We assume tomorrow will look mostly like today. That bias kept people holding on to Blockbuster shares while Netflix ate their lunch. It's the same bias making you keep cash in a drawer instead of in productive investments. Real wealth building in the 2020s and beyond isn't about hoarding what worked yesterday. It's about owning what the future demands: digital skills, AI-powered businesses, renewable energy, index funds in growing sectors, and assets that generate passive income in a digital world. Money flows to whatever solves tomorrow's problems. The good news? You don't need to be a genius or have a huge bank balance to win. You just need to stop anchoring to the past and start moving with the future. So here's your practical takeaway. Do this second: start a future-proof bucket. Every month, move even a small amount, 10% of your income if possible, out of dying assets and into low-cost index funds that track technology, renewables, and global growth. Compound interest is still the most powerful force on earth, and it works even better when your money is pointed at the future instead of the past. Third, build a skill that can't be made obsolete. Learn digital marketing, AI tools, content creation, or financial literacy itself. Skills are the ultimate asset. They can't be confiscated, they don't depreciate like a car, and they generate income forever. Fourth, get comfortable with change. The people who win in the next decade are the ones who update their money story faster than everyone else. You don't have to sell everything tomorrow in a panic. Just stop adding to the dying pile and start feeding the growing one. Small, consistent actions beat perfect timing every single time. Look, 2030 is not science fiction. It's 4 years away. That's it. The question isn't whether these assets will lose their value. They will. The only question is whether you'll watch it happen to your money, or whether you'll do something about it while you still can. Your future self, the one who wants freedom, security, and options, is watching this video right now through your eyes. Don't let them down. If this made you think differently about your money, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 7 surprised you the most, or which one you're guilty of still holding on to. I read every single one. And if you want more simple, psychology-packed breakdowns that actually help you build wealth without the boring jargon, subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week we're talking about the one investing mistake that quietly destroys more millionaires than anything else. Thanks for spending this time with me. You've got this. Now go make your money work for the future, not the past. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.